Hey everyone, my name is Vidushi Sandhir. Welcome to the Deeply Simple podcast or YouTube channel, depending on wherever you're listening or watching. Here we break down deep concepts around wellness into simpler and easier to understand tools so that you can start implementing them right now. If you want to work with me, if you want to read some resources on my blog or check out some other videos or podcasts, visit my website www.deeplysimple.info. I'm so glad that you're here. So today I want to talk about building and sustaining friendships in adult life, which can be harder, more unnatural, and a little difficult. Now, why are we talking about friendships in like a wellness or a well-being channel? Well, that's because there is a ton of research now that shows if we have healthy social relationships, we have better mental well-being. There was a study done in 2018 that actually went on to say that good social relationships act almost as a protective buffer against mental anxiety, stress, and other challenges of adult life. And that's great, right? Who doesn't want that? So as we get older, even though we know all this, we kind of know the importance of friendships. As we get older, I think you might have noticed, I have noticed definitely, that life gets busier, we lose touch with old friends, it becomes more unnatural, like I said, to make new friends unless we are in like common events or work environments that foster that. We just don't have that sort of, that campus experience of studying together, doing a project together, marching towards a common goal. So things are harder. But it's not a lost cause. We're talking here about friendships that are high in quality, which means there is a sense of intimacy and trust and a flow to the friendship itself. And such friendships don't necessarily need a lot of time for the people to spend together. It's more about the foundation. Now, why am I even stressing so much about the quality of friendships? Well, because there is another research. Research has shown that quality of friendship is very, very closely tied to well-being. And there was another study that was done, I want to say in 2011, that said the quality of friendships that you have at the age of 30 can actually predict your well-being at the age of 50. And I have like 6 tips for you. Some of these are going to resonate with you very strongly because of the season of your life, and the others are going to sound very busy. So take what resonates and leave the rest. That's usually my mantra on this channel. So let's get into the first one. The first is choose experiences. Experiences are activities to do with your friend, and they can usually spark new conversation topics. So next time when you're meeting a friend, look for something that you can do together. It doesn't have to cost a lot. It can literally cost from nothing to a few bucks. Some ideas are hiking, taking a nature walk in an area that you haven't been together. Maybe taking an art class or like a workout class together where you're using your bodies and you're using your hands. And my current favorite is looking for wellness experiences. So, for example, sound bath or cold plunge or a face workout. Yes, that's a thing. Face gym is apparently a thing, and I'm very excited to try it. So the list is endless. You just have to get creative and find an experience. Number 2, I would say, is lean in to intimate conversations. And I know that this can be daunting, especially if you haven't done it before, or if this person is your acquaintance and you're kind of developing a friendship. There is a concept in psychology called self-disclosure, which means that you disclose something intimate, personal to someone. And if they do the same, it's called mutual self-disclosure. It can actually help build a stronger bond. Sometimes you just have to take the first step in self-disclosure. Now, if it sounds, again, too intense, then an idea or a tip that I have for you is to make it lighter with the use of card games. There are card games for couples and there are also card games for friends. And if you don't want to invest in cards, you can actually make your own game. You can just come up with questions, put them on a piece of card and just play that game with a friend and keep the questions. Some of the questions can be light, some can be just a little deep so that you get to know a different side of your friend. I actually did this in a Galentine event where not everybody sort of knew everyone, and we walked away after playing this game, knowing each other just a little bit better, and that was very powerful. Number 3, and this has been a lifesaver for me, is calendarizing things. I forget dates. I don't remember birthdays, anniversaries, and other stuff like that. So to just like reduce the mental stress, I put them down on a calendar. And this doesn't just apply to happy events, this also applies to challenging events that might have happened in your friend's life when they maybe lost someone, or maybe they're going through some kind of a treatment and they have a milestone coming up. So just remembering those things, and when they pop up on the calendar, you send a quick message. It is simple, it's effective, and most importantly, it is very, very personal. When your friend receives that message, it's just like it's so meaningful to have had someone remember a pivotal event in our life. And it's the best form, I think, one of the best forms of care that you can show. Number 4, take initiative. If we don't solidify plans, if we just like don't make plans concrete, they just stay up in the air, floating away. So make an effort to make plans concrete. When you reach out to a friend, don't just say, hey, let's hang out, and leave it up there. Offer some dates, offer some things that you might want to do. Ask them what they might want to do. Just make it easier for someone to commit to a plan. And I have to admit, this was very hard for me. I was very prideful in following up with friends. So let's say I reached out to a friend and I offered a plan, and then I didn't hear back from them. My ego would get in the way of following up. And my partner kind of helped me see and change my perspective from this ego-driven perspective to a service-driven perspective. And I now just have to remind myself that if an unresponsiveness sometimes from people is not a reflection of friendship or how they feel about us. It's just the season of life that they are in, and maybe they're just really busy right now. So you can pick up the slack for now. So take initiative. Don't be me. Number 5, check-in days. Let's say I discussed 4 things right now and none of them resonate with you. You're like, Vidushi, I am so busy in my life right now. Everything that you're telling me is about me taking initiative, me adding something else to my life. I don't think I can do that. Well, then this one is for you. I've heard this a lot from new mothers especially, who find it hard. There's so much happening in their life that they can't add another thing into their life. What I would offer to you is just set up check-in day. It could be once a month. It could even be once every 3 months. And set aside 1 hour that day to check in with people in your life. You just send a message and check in with them, and you can use self-disclosure principle and just offer something that's happening in your life and be like, hey, things have been really busy, but I still want to check in and see like what's going on in your life. And it opens like a conversation topic with your friend. And most importantly, this just helps keep that bridge between you and your friend operational till you both have more time in your hand to meet and like catch up in a more solid and one-on-one way. But there is no reason to let a friendship go just because the season of your life was a little busier. Finally, number 6, leverage social media. This generation has Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn in their hands, and that's different, right? We know where people live. That sounds a little ominous, but we kind of know where people are located. So let's say you're planning, you have a conference, a work conference or a work event, or you are just going on a trip with family or without family. See if there's an acquaintance or even like an old friend who lives in that area that you might just want to spend 30 minutes to 45 minutes catching a cup of coffee. It's easy. You're already there, so it's not cumbersome. You already have a plan there. It's also more exciting because you're doing this in a newer city. And I'm guessing if you haven't seen this person because you're not geographically co-located, you will have more to talk about. And that can be exciting and open the way for a new friendship. So I hope this was useful. I'm going to wrap up the podcast now. If you want more resources on wellness, like I said, I have a podcast as well as a YouTube channel. You can check out both on my website, www.deeplysimple.info. I've kept it pretty simple. And also, if you want to work with me, I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm also a coach, and I help people meditate and live a more mindful life. If any of these resonate with you and you would like to work with me, reach out to me again through my website. If you are interested in getting my blog, you can actually sign up on the website, and I send a short article every other week because sometimes some people just prefer reading versus listening to things. I am a reader, so I send wellness tips and tools in the inbox. So I'm going to call this a podcast. I'm going to see you in the next one, and I hope between now and next time you have checked in with a friend or maybe met an acquaintance or have a new experience up your belt.